All right, so today we're going to discuss the 602 honors assignment, raising awareness. I'm going to break this assignment down into parts, show you exactly what has to be covered, and then I'm even going to provide you with some examples of a specific scenario that I'm going to use today so that you can see what kinds of information and how to extrapolate that information on out so that you hit every piece of criteria that's needed for this assignment. So to begin with, you need to choose an issue for your Module 6 project, but for the 602 honors assignment, you are going to look at something a bit different than whatever issue you are using for your overall 601, 603, 605 portion of the assignment. This is going to be something that's separate, and this does need to be a local issue, and you want to make it as local as possible. So if you can, in your immediate city, that would be best. If you've got to stretch it out to a county level, region, if it's got to go to a statewide level, then that would be okay. But as local as possible, it ends up being best because it allows you to really provide a lot of information that is something that to something that actually impacts you. There are several areas that you have to discuss. You've got to talk about the externalities or the side effects that are caused by this. You have to talk about how it relates to poverty, and you have to discuss possible solutions for fixing the problem. All right, so to begin with, there are several different ways that you can convey this information. You do need to be using 21st century skills. 20% of your rubric, which we will discuss later on, comes from how you present your information. Could be a radio or television public service announcement. You could write a letter to a newspaper, create a blog, a poster, a pamphlet, a flyer. You could write an essay, or you could do a presentation in PowerPoint or Prezi, or some other kind of media such as those. You have to first describe what the issue is. So you need to come up with whatever the issue is. Students in the past have done things from water pollution of a specific body of water in their city. They've done agricultural runoff. Some people a year or so back have done things like the BP oil spill, but really it needs to be as local as you can possibly make it, again, because it's going to be easier for you to really identify with that issue. You do need to discuss the externalities or the side effects, how the issue is connected to poverty, and then what actions your viewers can take. I'm going to give you an example here so that you can kind of see what kinds of information need to be discussed and how exactly you are to detail that information. So if we were to be looking at an issue here in downtown Panama City, it would deal with the rescue mission having a permanent facility in downtown. So that would be my issue. That's what I first am going to write about, and then I'm going to go on from there. As far as the externalities are concerned, this is the kinds of information that you should be providing. I'm going to break it down into positive and negative. I'm not really going to go through all of these. You can pause this video if you would like at this point, and you can kind of read the information that's there. I just listed these as a set of bullets, depending on exactly how your presentation is going to be, whether it's going to be in a letter or a pamphlet or a flyer or whatever. That will determine exactly how you format all of this. Connection to poverty, again, you need to go into detail. This is where you have to really kind of extrapolate things on out. You want to look at knock-on effects or domino effects. You don't just want to look at something and do one step out. And what I mean by that is it'd be very easy for me to say that the issue of a homeless shelter relates to poverty because the people are poor. But it needs to be more than that. So you need to talk about, for example, in this situation, poor residents would live in a downtown area. There's less opportunity for them to move out if they did not want to be around this homeless shelter. You could talk about that it's going to depress property values, which means less wealth for those residents and business owners. It could lead to an increased migration of lower income people to the area, more homeless to the area. And then there could be a mass exodus of people and businesses, which could in turn lead to derelict and abandoned buildings, which is going to further exacerbate the problem of lower property values and rising poverty levels in that area. So you really need to kind of extrapolate those effects on out and show those kind of knock-on or domino effects. Actions or solutions, again, I'm not going to run through all of these, but you can pause this video and you can look at the specific actions or solutions that you might want to take. Again, you might want to provide several of these. The format as to how you provide them, whether it's a list of bullets, whether it's part of a letter, that's going to be determined by exactly how you're presenting your material. But I would suggest you coming up with a few possible solutions, and then if you want to hone in or focus on one specific one that you feel is best, and then explain why that is the best issue, that's going to lead to a more thorough project on your part. Finally, this is your rubric, how it breaks down. You can see that the content portion of this is where the bulk of your grade is coming from, 35 to 40 points. So you need to make sure that basically you've hit all the points, everything from the connection to poverty, everything from the externalities, describing specifically what your issue is and why it's a problem. You'll also see that the presentation part of it, where it contains accurate information and that you have thoroughly evaluated the issue and the relationships between poverty and whatever things it is affecting. That's another big portion of it. And then finally, like I said, your 21st century skills, how you're actually presenting the material, can be up to 20 points. So it's going to be best in this situation if you are using those kind of more modern, prezis and blogs and those kinds of things to assure you get the full 20 points for this. Hopefully this has kind of helped you understand exactly what's needed from the 602 honors assignment. If you have any additional questions as far as maybe what specific issue you feel like you'd like to do, or any questions on specific elements of the assignment, just please contact your instructor.